Coach education is designed to help coaches promote the mission of Special Olympics, enhance coaching skills, and keep up to date regarding current rules and training techniques. We are exploring new ways to reach more coaches across the state. We are piloting a new coach education format where you will watch the coach education video at your convenience, but before the beginning of your sports season. After the completion of this video, you will complete the Bocce quiz. This sports certification will help enable you to coach Special Olympics athletes. This certification will be good for 3 years. Thank you to the coaches who have started their preparations on our coaching levels. There has been a fair amount of confusion regarding the process, so I will attempt to break it down further. Coaches only need to take the courses listed for their level. Courses not listed are great information for you to have, but are not needed for certification purposes. We would like all volunteers who are working with athletes to be level 1 assistant coaches. This level you would need your concussion training as well as a sport-specific training to be renewed every 3 years. Those individuals that only want to coach, this is all you need. There is no need to change anything you are currently doing. Coaches who want the ability to protest at a state level competition would also need to take level 1 sport assistant or coaching unified sports course if you are a unified coach. The course you choose will need to be taken one time. We have moved principles of coaching to level 3. Coaches who want to continue their education and be eligible for U.S. Games can proceed to level 2 coach. You will need to have the level 1 certification plus complete the level 2 coaching assistant course. Coaching Special Olympics athletes is a course that SONA is currently finishing and when complete will also be a requirement. Coaches who want to be responsible for the total practice environment and be eligible for U.S. and World Games can progress to level 3 head coach. You will need to have the level 1 and level 2 certifications in addition to taking the Principles of Coaching course. Head coaches will also be required to take additional courses to maintain their certification. The role of the coach is multidimensional, complex, and challenging. It is also one of the most rewarding aspects of being involved in sport. The coach facilitates the athletes to engage in sport with peers, opponents, supporters, and to encourage themselves to improve. Coaches must take on numerous roles as they engage with athletes, family members, officials, and other stakeholders. Roles can range from teacher to advisor, mentor to motivator, all of which are important roles supporting the athlete. Before beginning any form of physical activity, you should always carry out a warm-up. A warm-up should be designed to help prepare the body and mind for physical activity and reduces the risk of injuries. It is recommended to carry out a comprehensive sport-specific warm-up for at least 15 minutes prior to starting training, activities, or competition. Warm-ups should include 3 specific components. Aerobic activity to raise heart rate. This can be walking, jogging, cycling, or skipping. 2, dynamic stretching. Dynamic stretching involves active, controlled movements that bring the body parts through a full range of motion. And 3, sport-specific movements. Skills or movements which are core to your sport. Movements that the athlete will complete in training or competition. You want to cool down when your training, practice, or sport session is complete. You should always cool down. It is just as important to have a good cool down as it is to have a good warm-up. A good cool down allows the body to gradually return to a state of rest. Cool downs are perfect opportunities for coaches to carry out a debrief session with their athletes and to review the session they have just had. Ask your athletes some open, informative questions that will make them think about the session and what they would have learned. In addition to the athletes reinforcing the coaching points you have given them, it also gives you, as a coach, the opportunity to see what works for each athlete as an individual. Coaches should also use this time at the end of practice to encourage healthy habits. Educate athletes on the importance of staying active and eating healthy outside of practice. All training sessions should be planned prior to arrival. This reduces on-the-spot pressure on the coach. It results in a better training session for the athletes and allows for better progressions of trainings as sessions go on. We want to facilitate athletes. All sessions should be athlete-centered and should consider the individual needs of each athlete when it comes to progressions. We want to adapt. Session structure should not be rigidly followed. Coaching is dynamic, meaning that it must be adjustable in the case of something unplanned happening. This means that your plans should always have several options included. You should be prepared with a backup activity, a progression, or a simplified activity if you find it is simply not working as planned. If it's not working as planned, that is okay. It happens to all coaches. The difference is that effective coaches are prepared for it. Reflect. Reflection is a key component of the coaching process. It presents coaches with the opportunity to self-analyze and self-improve after a training session. Traditional doubles and unified doubles bocce will be offered at state summer games. If an athlete participates in both traditional and unified bocce, they cannot sign up for any other event in summer games. Bocce will be played on an artificial turf surface using SOMT's PVC courts. There will be a designated team check-in area and tents surrounding the field. Please stay in the designated areas. Only athletes and partners competing will be allowed on the turf surface. Coaches are not allowed to coach their athlete or unified partner from the sidelines. No exceptions. Bocce play will be scheduled in a round-robin format. Awards will be calculated on total team wins, with total points scored as the tiebreaker. All teams will receive 2 games. There will be a check-in staging area. All bocce teams will be required to check in at a minimum 1/2 hour in advance of their division's start time. For example, if a team's division is starting at 10:30, the team must check in at 10. Each unified doubles pair consists of 1 unified teammate, partner, and 1 athlete, no exceptions. Athletes and unified teammates, partners, may compete on only 1 doubles pair per day. When submitting scores for bocce, please submit your scores in centimeters. If athletes require the use of a ball cannon or ramp, denote that on the registration form. All bocce games will have a 15-minute time limit. Games will end at the end of the frame in the 15th minute, or if one team reaches the scoring limit of 12 points in a game. Please train your athletes to play prudently. This will allow the greatest amount of competition to occur. How to score bocce for the Summer Games registration form. All measurements need to be in centimeters. Make your measurement from the center of the polina to the center of the closest 3 thrown balls. You will add together the 9 closest distances to calculate the athlete's score. Add scores together to get the doubles team score. To begin, have the competitor stand in one end zone. The coach will place the polina at the 30-foot line. The competitor will then play 8 balls. Record the distance of the closest 3. The coach will then place the polina at the 40-foot line. You would then repeat steps 3 and 4. A coach would then place the polina at the 50-foot line. You again would repeat steps 3 and 4. This concludes the training session for bocce. You will now be directed to complete the bocce quiz. There is a bocce game procedure video embedded in the quiz. This video is not required to watch, but it does give insight into how they play the game of bocce. You will also find this video on the SOMT YouTube page. Upon successful completion of the quiz, you will receive your bocce certification. Thank you for your hard work, dedication, and countless hours you provide to ensure that athletes and partners have a rewarding experience with Special Olympics. Reach out to me at bpolk@somt.org for any bocce questions, or join us on the third Thursday of each month for Inside the Huddle, as SOMT sports team will be available to answer sports-related questions. Good luck and have a great Summer Games cycle.